Okay, team, I got one more picture I want to show you. It's down here on in page 12. I chose this one because it's problematic. It's small and it's small and it has a lot of noise that we need to remove. So I'm going to show you one way to do that. You know, there are other ways, but I think this one will be the easiest. Oops. Will be the easiest for you to follow along with. Here we go. Once again, we're opening in Adobe Camera Raw. You can see the clipping warnings from the shadows and the highlights. There are none in the picture itself. Looking around, we've got pretty gnarly looking snow here, but I think we can live with it. We don't want to take this out. No, it won't matter because it will be cropped when the picture is in the layout. We got this little gizmo here that we should probably take care of right now. This defect looks like some trash and somehow got into the trees. Adobe Camera Raw has a new feature called Remove. It gives you several different styles of removal tools. I'm going to use this one and use generative AI to correct this. So we take a brush. Let's make it bigger with brackets. Here's the with the right bracket tool. We just paint over it. We're going to select it. We're going to remove it. So we've got an error message. We're going to try it again. It's probably an internet thing because a lot of this AI stuff is done over the internet. And there it's done. It's complete. It's really nice. I'll accept it. So we're done with that portion of it. So now we can go back to the original adjustments. We'll go to the adjustment panel, the light panel, and just the adjustment panel, and go to the light panel, and we'll just do auto. And you can see how it's really picked up a lot of information that was not there in the original that Kevin sent us. But there's some things here that we also have to adjust. We've got these blown highlights in the sky, not so bad. But we'll do, and the plugged shadows in the dark areas. So we'll go back to Curve, our favorite tool for this, and just pull it down a little bit to remove the highlights and push it up a little bit to remove the shadows. Now what's happened with this, we'll do our effects too. We'll go do this, where is it, load settings here. And now I'm going to see if dehaze does any more. Do we want to do more dehaze? It looks like it, just a little bit to pull out some more details in the smoke. And we've got some blown highlights in the fringing area of the trees. So we'll pull back the whites if we can. Nope, we're going to do best to do it with curves. There we go. So that's corrected. And now I notice that opening up the shadows here has introduced a lot of noise into this picture. So a really good way to eliminate noise is with Adobe Camera Raw in the detail panel, where we can reduce the noise. This denoise panel is for our raw images, so it's not currently compatible because we're working with a JPEG. So we're stuck using the manual denoise, and we're going to do color first because that's the most. Just pull this slider a little bit, and it all goes away. Here, I'll do a. It's not showing up. We'll go do this again. Here, color, and we just pull it a little bit, and it's gone. Now, what's also happened here is that I think that the color in the front of the locomotive is a little too bluish. So we can go up here into the new masking, in the masking situation, masking program, control panel, adjustment panel, click the brush, and we can go down here to the color temperature. And we could probably, there's a couple different ways to do this. We could add yellow to this, which would take out the blue. So we're going to do this and see if this works. So we use the brush again. And brush in the color. I'm not sure that's working. Let's look at the, turn it, press the eyeball and that'll, yeah, that looks like it's doing it. Making it a little warmer. Let's turn on the, use fine adjustment, what's that? Let's turn on the mask, show mask overlay, so we can get a better idea of what area we're actually affecting. What's nice about this tool is it will automatically select the area that you want to select by placing the plus sign in the area you want to adjust, and it will automatically create the mask just in that area. It's a pretty remarkable tool, doing a lot of selecting for us automatically. Now the thing is that maybe if this doesn't do it with this, with the tint, with the tint and color, let's turn off the overlay. We can, where's the auto mask was turned off, that's all right. We can show the visibility. Definitely took a lot of the color. We can add more yellow. Let's see how that looks in comparison to the locomotive. Well, I'm not sure that that's what I want to do. So I'm going to press the Option key and reset color and go back. We've still got the mask, right? So the mask is still there. So what I want to do is use the saturation slider and reduce the saturation in this area, which I think might give us a better effect. So let's, sure does. It's really subtle, but I think I prefer it to the changing the color. Looks more locomotive to me. So there, we've done that. So we can open it. And here we are in Photoshop. Now we save it right now because I want to check its size because I know it's off. Back to RT, here we go, save. Now we're going to go back to Bridge, to the RT folder, scroll down, and this is the one we just did. This one should be discarded because it's old. So this one here is the picture we're going to put into the, this one we're going to put into InDesign, but we need to go down to that page. So we'll go down to page 12. Here we go. So we'll click and drag it from Bridge into page 12. And we can see that it's not quite, doesn't quite fit right because of this clear white area. So we'll select the image with the item tool. I think that's what that's called. Direct selection tool. Okay, that selects the inside the picture and just give it a little stretch. And that's enough. And let's move it over here a little bit so we get a little more of the background. I kind of like the background. And we don't have to worry about the twig on the outside or the smushed in the snow. So this is good. But look at the size. It's a little bit too small. It's got to be 100% or better or less. So this is 133%, we'll call it 134%. So we have to go back to Photoshop and let's Command Option I selects the image size tool, and we have to be sure that it's in proportion. So we'll do 134 is our percentage. We're going to preserve details. To be honest with you, I don't know the difference between preserve details enlargement and preserve details 2.0. It doesn't seem to make much difference. I probably should read up on it. I like to select 10% to reduce noise because there always is a little noise that gets enlarged too. So we click OK, and here we got the picture. It's really close. Let's look at it with Option Command 0 to see it at 100%. It looks pretty good, but the enlargement, I think, has introduced a little bit of color to it. So what we need to do is do a little bit of sharpening on it. And the problem with sharpening on it will be that it will also sharpen the fringing that's on these twigs. It's already pretty bad. The fringing came in with the picture, so we only want to sharpen the locomotive. So once again, here's a great tip. We can duplicate the layer. There's lots of ways to duplicate the layer. I'll talk about 3 times. You can go here to the layer menu and duplicate the layer. In this case, we're going to call it sharpen. The other way you can duplicate the layer is to click and drag to the plus button there, or you can use a keyboard shortcut, Control, which pops up the contextual map, and duplicate the layer here. So we don't need these, but I just show you the options you have. Okay, now the way I'm going to use sharpen is to use Adobe Camera Raw as a filter. So we want to make sure that we have this as a convert to smart object, so that's editable, and we can go back to it, and then we can use filter, Camera Raw filter, and now we're ready to apply. Now we're ready to sharpen this image. But the only area that I really want to sharpen is this locomotive. So once again, we go to the brush tool in the masking, and we can brush in sharpness. Scroll down here to Effects, Dehaze. Right here is sharpness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on, a couple of things I'm going to make sure that we turn on. I'm going to turn on the auto masking, which auto mask, which will automatically select the area of the locomotive when we paint over it. And then I'm going to go down, and the first thing I'm going to do is show the overlay. I'm going to paint in the mask. Not showing much, is it? Barely visible. Let's increase the flow. There we go. Now we've got the locomotive. You can see the mask being painted in to the locomotive. And so when let's make sure that, let's see, all right, you press the Option key and go on the girder here to take the sharpening off. Use the plus key. Now here's a hint about the brush. You can see it has a target, a plus, and then it has a ring, and then an outside ring. Well, when you put the plus in the subject, that's where it's going to be most effective, and then it will feather out from there. And if it has a nice soft mask, it's a good way to be able to select just the areas that you want. So you can see this. Now let's punch up the zoom. We're 200%. We'll do 100%. We'll turn off the overlay, and we'll go down here to the where is it? Here it is. The sharpness slider, and push it up. Now we can go all the way up to 100%. Toggle it. You can see the effect of the filter. It's very subtle, but it's really too much. Unfortunately, it increases the grain too. Let's see if the noise reduction can correct any of this. A little bit, but then you lose the sharpness. So we'll just leave it at 0 and pull back the sharpness a little bit and toggle it again. It's just enough to take out the softness, and I think we're good to go with this. So we're okay. All right, and now we've used sharpening we've just sharpened the locomotive. We toggle it on and off, and you can see the effect. It's very subtle, but I think it's enough to improve this picture. We don't need to do anything more on this. So that's one way to sharpen it. Now, there's another way to sharpen it I think you should know about. It's called luminance sharpening, and it's a technique that I don't think I'm unique in, but the effect here is it's a lot of steps, but I think it's worth showing you. So we'll duplicate the background, and we'll call this luminance sharpening. Okay, and the way it works is by selecting the luminance masks of the image. You know, it uses the channels of the picture. You know, there's a red, green, and blue channels. Here's another way to make it black and white, but we'll keep it with color. And if I do a Command 2, that just shows the visibility of it. Never mind. So I'll go back to layers, and we're going to use Shift. These are undocumented shortcuts. Shift Command Option 2, and that will select the RGB channel, and we can show it like that. Now that's the area that's been selected. Go back, turn off the Q, and then we do Command J to select the mask, and this is what it looks like. Option click toggles it, and then we're going to sharpen the mask with filter sharpen. Filter, let's do that. Filter, sharpen, unsharp mask. We're going to select 150 as the amount. The radius is 1 and the threshold is 0. Okay, now that's one area that's been sharpened. Now I'm going to do another. I'm going to do Shift, Command, Option 3, or rather 2, and do this, and repeat that J, and do the filter again, unsharp mask, And then I'm going to go back to the Illuminance and Shift Option Command 3 and do a Command J to select the layer, the mask, and do the Filter Unsharp Mask again. I got one more to do. Shift Command Option 4, J, and do the filter. Do the filter, unsharp mask, and then I'm going to combine all these into a group, pressing here the group. And this is, name it, okay, and now we're going to go up to the 100% and toggle the luminance sharpening. And you can see the problem is that, as you can see over here in the corner, that the luminance sharpening has also sharpened the fringing on the trees. We don't want that. We want to be able to mask that out. So, and then now's a chance to compare it with the sharpening that we did in Camera Raw. This gives us almost too much sharpening. So what I like to do is just back it off with opacity, and then just enough to give it a little punch. So we're okay there. So what are we going to do to reduce the sharpening back there? What we have to do is build a mask so that we can block the effect from the area out beyond the locomotive, so that the sharpening is only applied to the locomotive. So we can do that by making a mask, which I'm going to use this layer as my mask. So look down here to right here. This is the apply mask tool. This is the masking area. Another way to do that is by Control click. Where is it? New art. Create. No, that's clipping mask. That's different. Merge down. Merge visible. Where is the? Here I am. Duplicate layer. Where is the mask? Mask isn't convert this. That's not it. We want to convert this. I want to do a mask right here, mask. So now I can apply the mask. This is the mask. Where did the mask go? So I'm going to apply the mask with a brush. And I'm just going to paint on the locomotive. We can see it here. This is we're making the mask. Similar to what we did we don't have the choice of, okay, I want to reverse that, so I could press X to make sure that we just have the locomotive selected. We got it on the girder here. Take it off. So I think that's a pretty decent mask. It doesn't have to be perfect, because there's just, we'll reduce the size of the brush and brush it out. Brush out the mask, just in case we don't want to sharpen the sky. So I think we got a pretty good mask here. So, oops. Command Z, X to make, whoops, wrong one. Command Z, X to paint in the mask, and we'll backslash to show the mask area. And now we've got the mask here. Now we're going to have to apply it to luminance sharpening. So we want to mask that. So we create a mask for luminance sharpening for the group. We'll copy this with an Option click. That's our mask. We're going to copy it with Command C. We're going to put it over here. We'll paste. I think we'll paste. Oh, we don't need a paste. We'll do this. We've got the image. We're going to fill it. Command delete. Option delete, which could not fill because I was target. Oh, that's a good reason. Let's turn it on. Now we can paste. No, that's not what we wanted to do. We want to paste it into the mask. So we just do Command delete, which will, nope, Option delete, there it is. Option delete pastes the mask paste the selection into the mask. Let's see what that does. It might need to reverse it. So we're going to make it bigger. Turn it on and off. So we've done it right, because now you can see the effect very, very barely. Oh, let's turn it up. So we can see the effect on the locomotive, but it hasn't affected the background. We can hide the mask with Shift click. That hides the mask, and you can see what we've done here. I think I'm going to go back off about 50%, 60% on the opacity of the mask. We don't need this layer. Technically, we could throw it out, but let's see the difference. Here it is with luminance sharpening, and here it is with camera raw sharpening, and we've pretty much done the same thing. Although I think it might have been easier with camera raw, but you don't always get enough sharpening with camera raw. So that's why I would recommend luminous sharpening. Now we've done all this, and I want to show you that I've also made a action that does this all those steps that I did before. So if we go, I'll show you. It's here in my actions panel. Luminance sharpen. I can share all these actions with you. If you want them. I think they help speed your workflow and reduce the frustration. So I'm going to save this again. I'm going to check my size. Okay, we're big. So now once again, let's make sure that it's updated in InDesign. And this one's done. And thanks for watching.